Throughout Pokemon history, what type your Pokemon is has always been one of the biggest deciding factors of whether or not that Pokemon will be good in battle. Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and we're going to look at the top 5 worst Pokemon types in no particular order.
Number 5.
We're going to start with the type that's kind of hard to put on this list because there are a lot of benefits to using this type, and this is going to be the normal type. So the normal type is actually kind of decent. It does have some good Pokemon that are represented. The thing about normal typing though is it has no type that it's super effective against. Defensively, it does not want to take a hit from a fighting type Pokemon. It's not very effective against rock and the very common steel type, and also has no effect against ghost types. The only upside to that is ghost types have no effect to them as well, so there's that. But it's kind of sad having a type that has nothing that it can hit super effectively. But like I said, there are some Pokemon in this typing that are actually very good, and there are some moves in this typing that are wonderful, such as Return, Hyper Voice, Boom Burst. But you're not hitting any Pokemon with super effective damage with these awesome moves. So that's why normal type has found a place on this list.
Number 4.
What is there to say about the bug type? Of course, I've seen a bug, you've seen a bug. I've accidentally stepped on a bug the other day. What can they do in battle? Of course there are some good bug type Pokemon, but the thing about those Pokemon are, they're only good because they have a better other type. Take Scizor, it's a bug type, but it also has one of the arguably best types in the game, Steel type. Take Araquanid, it's got water typing helping it out. That's what you see with a lot of these really good bug types. Offensively, they're one of the worst typings to use. They're not very effective against Fairy, Fighting, Fire, Flying, Ghost, Poison, and Steel. And they're only strong against Dark, Grass, and Psychic. It would make more sense to use another Pokemon that also is strong against those types without worrying about not very effective against all the other types. Move-wise, there's only a few specific bug-type moves that are actually really good, and most of those are based off their utility and not their power. Take U-Turn. You can hit and switch out with that one. Sticky Web slows down your opponent. Quiver Dance, you up your special attack, special defense, and speed. Fell Stinger. It's only 50 base power, but if this move happens to knock out your opponent, it'll boost your attack 3 stages, and that's what you find with most of these bug-type moves. They're not good because of their power. They're good because of their utility. That being said, a lot of these bug-type Pokemon rely on their other type to actually do that much damage. That's what you see with these bug-type Pokemon, and that's why the bug typing is here on our list.
Number 3.
I know Jesse doesn't like it, but I have to put the grass type on here. And I know it's sad having a starter type on this list, but looking at the grass type, it does have to be on this list. It's weak to 5 types, and these 5 types are pretty common. Fire, Flying, Ice, Poison, and Bug. And it's not very effective against a whopping 7 types. Bug, Dragon, Fire, Flying, Grass, Poison, Steel. And the thing is, these types are pretty popular. And it's also only strong against 3 types, Ground, Rock, and Water. And the thing is, those types have better other types that can take care of those. The only upside to grass types is they're immune to Sleep Powder and Spore, moves like that. And there are a few good grass types out there. Kartana, Tangrowth, Mega Venusaur. Even with these pretty good grass types, the grass typing itself is kind of weak and not the best type, and that's why it's on this list.
Number 2.
Let's face it, the ice type's never really been that great. It's only resisted by itself, and right off the bat, that's not a good thing to have for your type. It's weak against Fighting, Fire, Rock, and Steel. These 4 types are pretty common in competitive play. It's also not very effective when used against a Fire, an Ice, Steel, Water type. And 3 of those are pretty common themselves, Water being up there as one of the most common competitive type, and Steel as well. The only types it's good against is Grass, Ground, Dragon, and Flying. Really the only positive about the Ice type is that a lot of hard-hitting Pokemon are actually quad weak to ice typing. That is, your Landorus, Garchomp, Dragonite, Salamence, Pokemon like that. They don't want to take an ice type move at all. But the actual truth of that is a lot of water types actually learn ice type moves, so you don't really need an ice type Pokemon to take those out. And really, every Pokemon that has the ice typing, that type actually holds them back.
Number 1.
There's a reason that I said for this list there's not really an order to this, and that's because each of these types do have benefits. And the same thing can be said for the rock type. There are some good rock type Pokemon out there. Mega Aerodactyl is one that comes to mind. Another big one is Tyranitar. Tyranitar is a beautiful Pokemon, and Sandstorm is a really nice weather to have too. It gives your Pokemon a 50% boost in special defense if they happen to be a rock type. Plus, there is one of the best moves in the game being Stealth Rocks. That's a rock type. With that being said, let's go into the negatives, because there's a reason that it's on this list. The rock type are weak to fighting, grass, ground, steel, and water. It resists fire, flying, normal, and poison, which is alright, but you're going to see more water, steel, and ground types in competitive play anyway. Also, another thing that also ties into the rock typing is that there's a lot of ground rock types, and ground rock types are super weak to water, so that's not good. Plus, rock steel types are super weak to fighting and ground, and it's not a good thing to quad resist the top 3 used types in battle. Another thing about rock types are that their moves are usually not that strong, and usually the stronger moves actually have really bad accuracy. There's not that many 100% accurate rock type moves. The ones that are used quite often actually have a huge chance to miss. So the problems with the rock type moves, the problem with the rock type Pokemon themselves, make it a good reason that the rock type will be on this list. But that being said, this is just my opinion. I've been Mr. Chabry, and I'd like to know, do you agree with this list? Do you think some of these types are actually better than what I gave them credit for? Or do you think some of these types are really bad and have a good place on this list? Go ahead, put in the comments what you think, and I will see you in the next Pokemon video.